run by Norris Lake along the Clinch River, but there were bigger highways in East Tennessee. I only knew the roads I was used to going down, to school, church, or sometimes to see my dad. For me, those roads didn't lead any farther than the park where I played ball, school, church, and the places we went running errands. It was a small world. Even as a child, I knew that much. How I knew, I don't know. But the stars made me wonder. I sensed those roads went places I'd like to see. What you don't realize when you're staring at the sky is how much the Virgin Islands or Jamaica, some village in the hills of Italy, Stowe, Vermont, Brownsville, Texas, or Mount Clemens, Michigan are like the towns where I grew up. Every kid in places that aren't even dots on the map probably stares into the same night sky, wondering those same things. It's not that you want to leave, it's that you want to know. And dreaming, even when you're just drifting around in your own head, is really about whatever that might be. You don't have to know in that moment, because you believe if you keep looking, you'll figure it out. Other than Knoxville to see the Christmas lights, I didn't really go anywhere. Chicken after church. I was raised in a community where we leaned on church, school, sports, and one another. In our family, music was a thread that ran through everything. For 3 years when I was small, we lived with my mom's parents, Lucy and J.B., as in John Beecher Grigsby. Those memories are filled with music. My mom and my grandma were in the hospital at the same time, having me and my Aunt Missy, who's 6 days older. Missy and I grew up like brother and sister, running around and going to school together. It made us a close family. Love really held us together. When I was 3 and living with my mom's parents, Santa paid me a visit. Under the tree, wrapped in colorful paper, was a plastic guitar with my name on it. There was also a cheap kid's microphone for me to play with because everybody thought the way I experienced music was cute. There's a picture from Christmas morning of Mom and me with my guitar on in the living room. I thought I'd won the big door prize. Not knowing how to play didn't dampen my enthusiasm one bit. Having sat in my little chair next to my Aunt Missy, or on the sofa next to my Grandpa J.B., watching Hee Haw, rocking to the music, I'd seen plenty of people playing guitars on TV. In that child's way, I knew what to do. I actually held the fretboard properly with my left hand. That was all I needed. It felt good. Having that strap on my shoulder, plus the neck in my hands, felt so natural. I could play along with whoever was on TV or the record player as if it were me up there. Music was everywhere. You didn't think about it. Starting with church, music spoke to me. I grew up going to a Southern Baptist church. Cedar Ford Baptist wasn't a big towering church like people think of when they think of those big Southern super churches. More of a humble, rectangular-shaped brick building, there was plenty of room for all the believers. White walls, wood trim, 3 sets of pews, and a wood cross over the altar. What I knew more than those details is Cedar Ford Baptist had an awful lot of faith inside. Very structured, the services were scripture readings. A sermon that was almost a teaching meant to help people use the Bible to lead their life. Church was meant to inspire us. My grandpa, John Beecher Grigsby, who'd spent his life working as an engineer with the TVA, was a deacon. Now and then, Grandma Lucy took me to the church where she grew up in Snake Hollow, Tennessee. A building with a dirt floor, their worship was all the fire and brimstone you hear so much about. I wasn't more than 4 or 5. That preacher would get so worked up, he'd spit as he witnessed. Every phrase, a fleck of spit would fly out of his mouth like punctuation. Everything about it scared the hell out of me. I loved the church music. The hymns were almost follow the bouncing ball simple so everyone could join in. Most people did. Amazing Grace, How Great Thou Art, especially my favorite, Just As I Am. That hymn made me feel whatever I was doing, there was a place for me. That was the promise. Around Easter, when we sang He Arose, Mom would get to giggling and we'd all catch it. I was never sure whether it was the syntax of it, what happens if you separate the syllables into arose,
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.